Welcome to All Things Woman, where we identify, uproot, and plant seeds to help you flourish as a woman. Y'all, as y'all can see, my girl is with me. Hey, my girl KB, y'all. Y'all know I love when she comes on to the show because it's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a good time.
We always have a good time, y'all. So I'm so excited. Before we get into the show, I want to thank you guys for hanging in there with me and coming back another week. I love y'all. Thank you for being great supporters. Yes. I am so excited. I have a few more episodes that I will be putting out before the season is over. So keep looking out for at least 3 more episodes from me after this. And then y'all, we're going to take a little break. And then we're going to come back again. Okay, ready to go. But today, guys, I brought my friend on because we're going to talk about blooming.
Yes.
As many of you know, my sis has a organization called Sis Bloom.
Yes.
Hey. She's been at this for a while. And I want to talk about it. She has a conference coming up. So we are going to get into where did Sis Bloom come from, where God gave her this vision, and how God gave her this vision. So let's welcome my sis in, y'all. Welcome, sis.
I'm back. Hey, y'all.
Yes.
Know I love All Things Woman.
Yes.
All of you are wonderful followers and everything. I always have a great time when I'm on your show.
We do. That's what we do.
We can talk about dope things. Y'all,
Yes,
she brings just another side out of me. Like, we're always just talking about different things. We bring y'all into our everyday conversation.
Everyday conversation.
You
When
know?
y'all see us on this couch, y'all, this is how we be every day.
Yes.
Every day, all day.
So you need you a friend, okay, that just pulls things out of you. That could be like, dare I say, the yin to your yang. Get you a Tiff.
Get you a KB.
Okay, all right.
Can't steal mine though, okay? You can't steal me and you can't steal her, okay? Okay, just thought we had clarified that.
That's the disclaimer.
But let's dive in, sis.
Yes.
So, Sis Bloom, where did this start? When did this start? Tell us the vision of how God gave you Sis Bloom.
So at the end of 2020, I was driving in my car, and I'll never forget, I was on my way to work, and the Lord literally showed me my own life, right before me, showed me how I just grew, right? I wasn't in good soil at first, right? Because things happened in my life, and I went through a learning of who KB is. And so in that, and learning how to love myself, learning how to love God, that's when I got in the good soil. Right? Yeah. I got in the good soil because he is. He's the soil.
Yes, he is.
The only soil. You need to be in the seed, you need to be in there. And so, long story short, he was just showing me the things I overcame, how I grew. And so he began to talk to me. And I heard the word bloom, bloom, bloom. I said, bloom. And then I put in the front, Sis Bloom, because he said it wasn't just for me, it's for sisters, it's for those women who are going to bloom. And so we had a prayer, we would pray together with other women, and New Year's Eve, I told you all that the Lord has showed me y'all, and that I was gonna have that conference, and I would have y'all on that panel. And so that's how it all started. So he gave me the vision in 2020, and by 2021 we crossed over, because I'll never forget, we prayed into the new year, or it's like early that morning, on New Year's Day. And I had released it to them, and I told y'all my vision and that the Lord had given me, and that's how it all started.
Yes. Y'all, listen, that first conference was everything. 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 I'm so serious. I remember the call of you telling us, and it was like, I think all of us leaped like, yes, come on. How can we help? How can we assist? And it was beautiful, because to go through the whole journey with you of birthing and seeing the hard labor and work that you put into it, and the tears, and then how God moved on that day. Y'all, it was so amazing to see the room full of women who were ready to bloom, the women that were at the altar call, crying out to God. It was amazing. It was amazing. And I was so proud of you. I was proud to be on it, but most of all, proud. Why? Because when you think about blooming, it takes a lot of courage to bloom.
so much courage.
It takes a lot of courage to bloom.
It takes a lot of work. And let's talk about the fact that it was in the midst of COVID.
Yes.
The height of COVID.
Yes.
Like, it happened April 2021. Yes. COVID happened March of 2020.
Yes.
And to have a room with over 100 people in it.
Yes.
Was like, only God could do that.
Only God can do it.
That's why I want to talk about how it was so God. Because legit, it surpassed our expectations.
Really, for real. We all walked in like, wow, all right, this thing done came together. And how women were constantly talking about it. Yeah. From the moment that the flyer went out, y'all. Yeah. Like, it was crazy how all the shares that were going forth. Yeah. I think we all were blown away like, oh, wow, okay. Yeah. So, this about to be, Yeah. So, I want to go into the courage to bloom. Yes. Let's go into that. Yes. Because it takes a lot. It takes a faith step, a faith walk, courage, a lot to just go into who God is calling you to be. So tell us about your journey of taking the courage, the faith step to bloom, to become, because that was just the beginning. And I've watched this journey to where you are now, about to birth your second conference. Yeah. So let's talk about that.
So the journey to blooming for me, well, it started, like I said, with first learning how to love myself.
Yes.
Yes. And being okay with me.
Yeah.
Being okay with the fact that you tall, being okay with the fact that you're different, you're creative, you love Jesus, but you also are a makeup artist, and learning that it's okay to have different facets of you and to be everything he's called you to be, right? Like, I needed to have the courage to learn how to become and to step to the plate. And I mean, that came from prayer. It came from trusting God, even when I felt like, Lord, I don't see it. So having that faith to keep on rising, having people around me who were telling me like who I was, like, no, but you're this, reminding me, no, but you're this, no, but God said this. Yes, it's okay to be different. Yes, it's okay to sprinkle Jesus. Yes, it's okay to keep on moving, keep growing, keep, and he kept blessing me. He kept teaching me, and I want to say, number one, the courage is one thing, and having humility.
Yes.
Like, the secret to KB, y'all, is that I am one of the most humble people.
Yes.
If you haven't met me, I'm a giver, I'm a lover.
Yes.
I allow people that God has sent to me to teach me.
Yes.
So I'm like a blank canvas in that way. I'm always like, oh, okay, God. Okay, I'll listen to people, those that are sent to me. And I think that is something that has allowed for me to grow. Yeah,
it has. And I've been blessed by the example of you being humble, like, legit. Being KB's friend, I literally have watched her just be humble. Like, I'm gonna just sit at the feet of this person and I'm gonna get all that I can get and I'm gonna grow. And it really has shown me, like, wow, even though you can look up to somebody, the fact that they're still humble at the height that you may see them and love them at and respect them at, that humility is so, so, so important. And even in all that I've watched my friend do, y'all, like, she has never, ever gotten big-headed about it. Like, you will see a post come up about this, or you will see a post come up about that, but she's super humble. Like, even in our conversation, I see and hear the humility of, hey, I'm just out here doing what God want me to do. Like, I'm just out here just, however he want to use me, however he want to teach me a lesson, I'm learning. Yeah. Through whoever he gonna give it to, I'm gonna learn it. And for that, it has really changed my life for coming into the forefront. In the season that I decided to start this whole podcast thing, KB really opened up my mind to learning from others. Yeah. Sis, you really have. Like, it's so many times out of the car, like, so girl, this ain't my area about this. What do I do? And willing to give off every bit of knowledge that she knows. So thank you, because in this thing with women and all things women and working with women, which that's just your heart. If you know KB, she gonna give you any information that she knows. She's not about to withhold not a thing. Any connection, you can have it.
Yeah.
Any knowledge that she knows, she's gonna tell you. And that is so important.
It is.
It's so important
It
because
is.
how do we do the work of working with women if we're not willing to give that part of us? Like, it's sad to see so many women withhold knowledge and things that they know because they don't want to see a woman rise. And I believe that's why this round God is blessing this conference.
Amen. Yes,
He is blessing this conference
is.
like none other. Every when an attack come, a blessing comes.
Yes.
When an attack come, a blessing comes.
It's wild.
Yes.
And I think it's because the gatekeeping, that's what it is. Gatekeeping what you know, gatekeeping the information and saying like, no, you could come to, I want you to just look at me, right? I think from day one, I was always like, no, I want this to be for everybody.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I like that was the thing, so much so you was like,
That's it.
KB.
Okay, KB. Okay, sis.
And I think it's just because I want to see women win.
Yeah.
You know, like whatever God has opened up the door for me, and I can share that information or that resource, I'm gonna give it. You know, I'm gonna open up or ask, can somebody come and help another sister win? Because I understand what it takes to get there.
Yeah.
I understand the work that you put in. I understand the challenges that are faced.
Yes.
You know, like when you really believe it into something. Now, what will cancel you is having pride. What will cancel you is having an ego. What will cancel you is not being prepared. One thing I learned is that you must be prepared. Preparation is important because when you have humility on your side, when you prepare, then when the student is ready, the teacher appears. If you want to know how you get to your next level, become the student and get ready. So that when the teacher appears, you're ready to go.
Absolutely.
You know? And it doesn't always look like what people think it's supposed to look like, right? You're looking for your teacher to look like a certain way. You may learn something that's so amazing from somebody that's not in your field, yet they have the resource that you need. So many times that's happened to me.
You know? Yes.
And so it's like, that's important. So that's why when you say I'm about to do this, I'm like, yeah, you should do this. You'd be great for it. No, I don't think I'd be great for it. Yeah, you would be great for it. That's my that's like my superpower. I tell people who they are and what they can do because the Lord has empowered me to do that.
Yes. And I love the boldness, right, of knowing that about yourself, right? Because when you talk about sis blooming, we're blooming into who God has called us to be, who He has created us to be, which talks, it goes to ownership, taking ownership of becoming who God has created us to be. And to be able to say that, it ain't that you being cocky, you being sure. You're being sure. And a lot of people mistake people being able to articulate what God has created them to do, who they're for, as cockiness and having an ego. No, baby. I just know. I know.
That's good.
And that's how you know when you really have blossomed into who God has called you to be. When you can stand strong and stand on business at who God has created you to be. Because so many women get confused. They're confused and they're trying to do things and it's like, I mean, you can't even articulate what it is that God has wanted you to. And listen, I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm saying you still on a journey of becoming. So don't get discouraged. But you gotta get to that place where you can boldly articulate what you're called to do, who you are called to, and why.
That's good.
Because if not, you will find yourself wandering, doing 1,000 things, and not to say that God hasn't called you to many things, right?
That's right.
Because I feel like every season there is something that He wants you to do that may look totally different from the last season, but you have to know that you know preparation. Be prepared at that. Okay, God, this is what you're saying. I receive it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be ready for the teacher to come to teach me in this season.
That's good.
It's so important. Like, I feel like a lot of women, right? We hear bloom and we hear, becoming. And yes, it's exciting. Right? It sounds great. It's great. Everybody wants to bloom, blossom, and become.
Yes, they do.
But the journey, right?
We
don't want to do that work.
Oh, you're my mom.
We don't want to do the work of becoming. So tell me, what was one of the hardest things for you in this journey of blossoming into this woman that you are right now? What were the lessons? What were the hard things that you just had to like, whoa, child, oh God, help me? Because some women may be sitting right here in this very moment of, okay, God, I'm ready to become, but now they're in the hard part. Talk about one of your hard parts and how you overcame it and how you pushed through it.
What comes to mind first, quite honestly, is that everybody will not go with you. And I think that's something that I've had to learn over the years.
Yes.
That you have to be okay with people exiting your life.
Yes.
And you can't be bitter about it. You have to be okay with the fact that everybody is not destined to go where you're going. And you have to know that God will place those in your life that's meant to be, because for every exit, there's an entrance.
Say that again.
For every exit, there is an entrance.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
And so I'm saying that because every exit, the Lord enters someone that helped me to get to my next.
Yes.
And I think sometimes we're so heavy with people who should have exited so long ago that you cannot, nobody can enter that can take you to your next.
Yes.
It's a good thing to have people in your life that can challenge you, right? I did not say bring you down. I'm talking about a good challenge. Iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
And so you have to have people around you that have gone further than you that can challenge you to grow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And so that was one of the hardest things I had to learn, because KB is a lover. I desired for everybody to go. But the reality is that everybody will not go. When you hear people say, when you hear whether it's a preacher that says everybody not going where you going, or you hear just anybody talk about the airplane that has to take off and how the weight, you can't be too weighty because you got to fly, right?
Up.
You got to lift off. People hear it. It's great. Until you gotta get rid of some weight.
And
experience it. And the pain of it, and not to be bitter. Right? When somebody has to leave your life. Because it can make it, if you get bitter, you can't produce. You cannot love. And you cannot accept those who will enter, because your head's always on the swivel, because you feel like, no. I don't know if this is if they gonna hurt me, if they gonna this, they gonna that. And a lot of people dealing with that. So you can't go to your next level because you're like, well, I'm not giving nothing else a chance again, because I gave this one person a chance and they did this. I'm not going to no more conferences because they was mean. I hate empowerment because everybody that want to empower, they not this, they not that. I would say check your heart.
Yes. Come on.
Because sometimes we know that we shouldn't be where we went to.
Right. Shouldn't have been in the room in the first place. There is two people that gotta take accountability in that. You and the people that get it. And so, I think that that's so important. That was one of my biggest challenges. Being able to be in that place, because I got tired of that. And I was like, God, OMG. But I've learned it. And that's something I've overcome. That's why I could talk about it. And that's why I can love. And those that know me know, like, KB is just, I'm filled with so much joy, because I did not I understand what God wants to do. Yes.
And so that right there is something that it's okay, because what may be a superpower that God gave you may also sometimes cripple you. And so you have to understand the balance of it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I that is something that is so true. I think in every transition in my life, the hardest part was the letting go of people. And we want to hold on for forever, not knowing what God has ahead.
That's right.
Who God has ahead. And you said something that is so important is, becoming okay with that so that you don't become bitter. Y'all, bitterness is a real thing, and you will feed it and not see it as bitterness. Until the blinders are removed, and then there's so much damage that has happened, because now you really still gotta go the process. You cannot skip the process that God has in the journey of transition.
That's right.
People have to fall off.
That's right.
So the ones that, you should have been okay with falling off then, now somebody new gotta go.
Yes.
So it's so important to really accept quickly what God is doing as he is allowing you to become. And as he's transitioning you into who he has called you to be, where he has called you to be, and how he has called you to be there.
Yes.
Because it is hard. The higher you go, guys, the more that you grow, the bigger that God expands you, people are going to fall off.
Yes, they are, for one reason or another.
Yes.
And you talked about the process. I want to talk about the fact that you must process well.
Yes.
And you got to process well because I think that you don't want to produce fruit before you're done going through the process season.
Yes.
Or you can't bloom fully. Like a flower cannot bloom fully if it doesn't go through the proper things that happen, right? Like you can't, you have to, that's why the theme this year is cultivation, because it's like, okay, you have not quite bloomed, right? It hasn't come up, you haven't quite come up through the soil just yet, but you're on your way.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people produce when they still underneath the dirt. And so you forfeit what was to come because you produced too early.
Oh, Jesus, my God.
You can't do that.
Yes.
And that's why self-awareness is important.
Yes.
Because what do you want to feed? Because if you're just feeding yourself because you need to be seen or you need this thing to happen, then it's not for others.
Yeah.
And see, what God has called us to do is to bless somebody else.
Yes. It's never for us.
It's not for us.
Always for somebody else. Yes.
And so we got this thing twisted because culture say it's about you.
Yeah.
You producing for you. Everything about you. Let me be seen. No. I'm producing. Maybe God has said you're gonna be the face, but it's all about me.
Oh yeah.
And so at the end of the day, if you don't want to bless others, how can he put his hand on it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
So you gotta overcome.
Yes.
To understand what you've been through.
Yes.
To help somebody else get through.
Yes. That's so good, y'all. That was a mouthful. Jesus. Woo. And I say that part when you said that you can try to produce while you're still in the dirt, that's the gateway to the bitterness.
Yes.
Because you did something too soon. And now you're mad because you didn't get the results that you know that God showed you that you would have.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Right.
That's good.
Because that happens. He can show us the vision. And then when it doesn't look like what he said, you mad at him, but you forget that you planted. I mean, you produced too soon.
That's right. That's right.
That's why your prayer life has to be the lifeline of becoming.
That's good.
Because your flesh will always be prone to get ahead of God. It will always be prone to get ahead of him because we think that we know.
That's good.
We think that we can do this thing, or we think that, he showed me, so now I just gotta go.
Yep.
The showing was just to give you a clarity of what he thinks about you. But there are still processes of the seed going into the good soil.
That's good.
And then the watering has to happen in order for it to come through. So you can't skip the watering.
That's good.
You can't skip the watering. You think because you just went in the soil, now you're just going to pop out. You gotta be watered. Which 9 times out of 10 is the teaching phases. That's when the teacher comes to pour in.
To pour in. That's good.
And if you're not getting, because the teacher gonna tell you no.
Sure enough.
The teacher gonna tell you not yet.
Yes.
Not yet. Not yet, son. Not yet, daughter.
Yes. Yes.
Not yet. And you gotta really trust that process and that teaching. That person to really pour into you and believe what it is that they're saying and that they're speaking from God. Now that's a whole nother that's a whole nother other show.
But
yeah, and I'm about to say we gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that because I think that's a big part that needs to be talked about.
Absolutely.
As we are all getting into the season of it's time for empowerment and it's time to go. There's so much to be taught so that you come out full term.
Yeah.
Not premature, but full term. 40 weeks.
That's
Ain't
right.
it 40 weeks
That's
or it's
right.
42? Is it 42? It's one of them.
It could be 42.
Get past 40, child.
It's 40. 42, you overdue. But
You're overdue. Right. You're overdue. But still, we want you to be full term.
We do.
The one thing I love, you talked about the cultivation. So give us a little bit of what they can expect for the conference. I'm excited.
Yeah.
What can they expect? How can they get the information, get their tickets?
Absolutely.
And the itinerary of everything that's going to be going on.
Okay, so day one, we are going to, day one is Friday now, y'all, okay? So y'all need to go ahead and take off if you coming. If you're going to do the 2-day situation, go ahead, VIP, which, I mean, I love to be VIP.
Yes.
You know, and anything that I do.
Yes.
You know, I do.
Yes.
I want to just do it all.
Uh-huh.
I don't want just the other one. I want VIP.
Want it all.
Now, you do that, you're gonna get 2 great events. One is our Blazers and Brunch. That is business focused. I got some heavy hitters coming, okay? All right, you know, we're gonna talk about the finances. We're gonna talk about what does it look like to market and branding.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about what does it look like nonprofit versus for-profit. These things are so important. And you're talking about you want to birth a vision, right? So whether you're an entrepreneur, you could be an entrepreneur that is writing a book. You could be one that is in business. You could be one like podcast. It's a lot that goes with this stuff. And learning how to operate is very essential.
Yes.
It's essential.
Yes.
And so it's going to be a room full of you'll be able to network. You'll be able to get to know other women. We kind of get to know one another.
Yes.
Right. And I was just at another event and the man said sometimes, you know, you plant a small seed, that's buying your ticket to get into a room.
Yes.
Everything is not about you just being in every room and I just deserve. Some things you got to sow into. You got to sow your way into your destiny. So in this room, you're gonna be able to network and meet people and get to know them and have some good food. You know, we're gonna hang out. That'll be a great time. Then after that, there'll be a break. So then you could come back at 7 p.m. At 7 p.m., we're gonna have a pajama jam, girl talk. My girl Tiff, All Things a Woman, will be moderating the panel. Well, really, it's gonna be like a panel. It's gonna be like girl chat, right? And so Bangs After Dark, which if you guys tune into that is what I am on, the podcast that I have.
Subscribe.
Yes, subscribe to Bangs After Dark. So she's gonna moderate us. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna talk about love, life. We're gonna talk about friendships. We're gonna talk about just creativity and just have a good time. We're gonna dance. We're gonna have I love a good dance party, okay?
Love a good dance party.
We're gonna have fun at night, because I believe in fun. Like we're gonna learn, but we're gonna have fun too. So we're gonna try to wear our pajamas, bring your throws, bring a pillow, whatever you wanna do. We're gonna have a good time. Then Saturday is the full-blown pajama, not pajama, but you know,
the
conference.
Shebang.
The shebang. That's good.
The shebang.
The conference piece. So that is gonna look like different panels. We have one called The Seed Within. I love that.
Ooh, I love that. The Seed Within.
The Seed Within, okay? Then we're gonna have another panel called The Power of Prayer and Belief. Because I do believe that your prayer life and believing in what God said about you is so important.
Yes, it is.
So that's gonna be going down. We will also have women who worship, because we're gonna give God the praise.
And
we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna cut a rug Friday night. We're gonna praise the Lord Saturday morning. Okay, all right. And then we're also, this right here is something that I love. I'm doing 3 big things. One is a scholarship to an 18-year-old that is coming out of school, and I want to give that away. It's going to be called our Go Girl Glow. Okay, scholarship. It's $500 that we're giving away. Erie Bank is also giving away a $500 grant as seed money to a woman in business. You need to be there.
Yes, you need to be
in the room.
Yes.
And then Edith is going to be giving a $500 grant as well as seed money to a woman that is in a beauty school.
That's so awesome.
So we're giving away $1,500 in all.
Yes.
I'm so excited about that.
Yes.
You want to be in the room. It's not just about you supporting KB, you planting a seed into your own life. Okay, you want to be in this room.
Yes.
I'm super, super excited. I am going to close it out by giving a word of just love, empowerment, and getting you on your way.
Yes.
And it's just going to be so many more moments. I'm super excited about it.
I am too.
I'm excited to experience what God will do.
Yes.
And let me just say this. I've had testimonies given that I'm actually going to share that from one woman. She said she never felt more love in the room from the last one. Okay?
Wow.
She said, I've never felt more love.
Yes.
That blessed my whole life.
Yes.
I said, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Another woman said that she grew so much from just being in the room.
Thanks,
So we're
God.
talking about, this is not just about us. People grow.
Yes. Yep.
God does, and he moves on the behalf. So you want to sow into this room.
Absolutely.
You want to come?
Go tell your mama. Go tell your auntie. Go tell your sister. Whoever.
Bring your 18-year-old daughter.
Bring your daughter.
Yes, bring them.
Put her in the room.
17,
because
18.
she said, this is a seed. You are planting a seed into your future. So do not miss out on this conference. I don't even care if you could just do one day.
Yep.
Do not miss out. Be in the room, okay?
Yes.
So thank you once again for coming on, friend. I appreciate you.
I love you.
Oh, I love you so much. I love our time together. Like I said, y'all, we always have a good time when we get together on the couch, a chair, or something, a phone call, whatever. We gonna have a good time. I pray that you were encouraged. I pray that this gave you insight on wherever you are, because I am a heart for women. Like I love to push women. And I know the sun coming out, right? And the sun do something to us, right?
Yes,
and we want to start doing stuff, right?
Yes, we do.
So I felt like this show was so important to get you on your way, because this is that season.
Yes, it is.
This is that season, because by the time you get to June in the summer, you should be full bloomed, okay? Okay? This is the season. Spring is the season, okay? Of becoming, okay? Amen.
Amen.
So, I want to encourage you to go subscribe, share this video. Please come back next week, as I'm going to be talking about something. I ain't gonna tell you what it is, but it's gonna be something, okay? Be back in the room. Thank you for tuning in. Until next week.